Bun, e timpul pentru mine să predau ștafeta și să începem ziua cu niște oameni care chiar mișcă lucrurile în comunitățile din care fac parte. Și o să schimb din nou în limba engleză. And I'm inviting on stage Sophie Neve, Counselor for Agriculture, Nature and Food Quality, Embassy of King of the Netherlands in Romania, to share with us some good examples of good practices. Thank you, Sophie.
Hello, good morning everybody. Bună ziua! Nu vorbesc română, so I will have to do my presentation in English. Maybe in 4 years' time, when I am here a longer bit, I will try in Romanian. Ladies and gentlemen, dear creators of sustainable impact, good morning to you. It's an honor for me to be addressing the second edition of the Green Startup Sustainability Forum, and I would like to share with you the way the Dutch government and our embassy and the whole society in the Netherlands are responding to the grave challenges of our present. I hope to give you a vivid and inspiring view on how the Dutch are working together in transitions towards an inclusive, just and sustainable society and economy. I will have to do this. Yeah, it works. I'm sure that all of you are familiar with the framework of the Sustainable Development Goals. Each year, the Dutch central government publishes a report on what the Netherlands still needs to do in order to achieve the SDGs by 2030. The report is drafted in consultation with municipalities, provinces, business, educational and research institutions, and also civil society organizations. I would like us to look for a moment at the chapter drawn up by the National Youth Council. Young people are indispensable in shaping a sustainable and fair future. After all, they live the longest in that future and often have innovative visions on how we can shape our future. Their contribution to the report addresses a number of themes that young people themselves consider important: social security, mental health, climate, social developments, and meaningful participation. On each theme, they make recommendations to the cabinet, policymakers, and other stakeholders. To name just a few: increase investments in education so that teachers are given space for the development of all of their students and for bridging the backlogs incurred due to the pandemic of corona. Also, make sure that everybody becomes climate literate by 2040 and thus recognize the role of education for realizing a sustainable future. Also encouraging action and attention within education to the themes of disinformation, polarization, and the role that social media plays in this. Oh, I'm going back, sorry. This theme, developed a decade ago by the Dutch School of Public Administration, reflects the roles that the Dutch government or any government can play, depending on the context and the theme. One axis shows initiative coming primarily from government or from society. The other axis reflects the weight of the government's role versus the results. In each perspective, the role of government changes. You get a performing, a legislating, a collaborative, or a responsive authority. In the perspective of the performing government, the emphasis is about achieving goals measurably in a way that is smart and accountable. In this role, the government does well when it ensures that policy is effective and implemented efficiently. In the case of legislating authority, legitimacy and legality of government actions are central. Governance is primarily a matter of establishing procedures and anchoring goals and means in laws and rules. The third perspective of responsive government is based on the resilience and social energy of society, on movement that exists, on social value that is already produced in its own initiative. The government does not go out there to sell its own plans and goals, but joins in with societal movements that are already happening. This is a role Dutch government has been taking up more and more over the last decade. The fourth perspective, which is the most common in the Netherlands at this point, especially is in matters related to sustainability. And that is the one of the collaborative networking government. The focus lies also on achieving goals, but with the help of the effort of others. Just like with the performing government, a networking government is all about achieving results, but the method is different. The government is not alone. It seeks collaborations to achieve objectives or respond to invitations from other parties to collaborate. This role provides room for consultation and negotiation with stakeholders. The government often acts as a connector and guardian of the process and monitors progress and substantive steps. Well, the European Green Deal, as you might know, is the roadmap to make the EU economy more sustainable, and it existed since 2019. But the Netherlands has set up their own Green Deals already in 2011 as an instrument for green growth with regard to the living environment and sustainable development. With the Green Deal, the government has given space to innovative initiatives from society, accelerating the transition to a sustainable economy. Well, how does this Dutch Green Deal work then? When implementing sustainable initiatives, companies, government, and citizens can encounter barriers. The Green Deal exists to take away these barriers. The role of government in this varies each time. For example, think of removing obstacles in legislation and regulations, making networks accessible, support access to the capital market, and input of knowledge. Green Deals inspire others and pave the way for future sustainable initiatives. That's how they make an impact. Green Deals last an average of 2 to 3 years. And central themes are energy, food, water, raw materials, biodiversity, mobility, bio-based economy, climate, and environment. Well, then I would like to guide you through some activities we do as a Dutch embassy. Even if you did not have yet the chance to visit the Netherlands, you probably heard that we are being famous for our tulips, our cycling, and our never-ending fight with weather. So you will be not surprised to hear that our embassy has been promoting actively and facilitating Dutch-Romanian partnerships in the field of green cities, urban mobility, and integrated water management. As agricultural team of the embassy, we facilitated green city development, amongst other in Romanian cities like Bucharest. In 2019, we had a 3-year public-private partnership, Partners for International Business. It's called Urban Landscapes and Green Cities. It started and it was initiated by a consortium of Dutch landscaping architects and plant material producers, together with USAMV, that's the University for Agriculture and Veterinary Medicine, and Ion Minku University of Architecture. And together with various Dutch green education institutions, they designed and planted trees and plants, making the cities more climate adaptive, more biodiverse and healthier. This initiative also brought about a lot of knowledge exchange, research between the countries, and created new sustainable partnerships and business opportunities here in Bucharest and in the country. In order to promote sustainable urban mobility, the embassy has either directly organized or supported events, but also had other ways of, for example, organizing seminars, bilateral exchanges between the Netherlands and Romania. Just to name a few you might know, the Urban Talks conferences and the hackathons in Timișoara, Cluj, Iași, and Bucharest. There was also Think Bike workshops in Iași, Sibiu, and Pitești. The Urban Mobility Lab in Sibiu, and the most recent one, Cycling for Global Goals, took place 2 weeks ago. People of 15 cities throughout Romania cycled for raising awareness for the Sustainable Development Goals. Grace to a long-standing relationship in the field of water, Romania is the only EU beneficiary of a program funded by the Dutch government. It's called Blue Deal. Until 2030, the Romanian Water Authority and their Dutch colleagues are working together on combating drought, ensuring food safety, and developing a sustainable financing mechanism for the Romanian water sector. So in all these various fields, we are collaborating with your government, but also with knowledge institutions and business. Yes. To come close to today's champions, the startups, I will tell you something about one instrument that has been implemented successfully in the Netherlands called Startup in Residence, which might be of interest to you as well. The program, based on the needs of innovative solutions for urgent social issues, is bringing startups and governments together to co-create these solutions. The Startup in Residence program supports innovative entrepreneurs. Governmental organizations help them to develop their solutions and find their launching customers in the public sector. The entrepreneurs follow a development path with training and mentoring. They run a pilot with a potential client and sell their solutions to a city, region, or to the local government, and remain the owner of their own solution. There are 5 regional startups in resident programs in the Netherlands. Each program launches new challenges once or twice a year. I would like to dive specifically into one of the challenges launched by the Ministry of Agriculture, Nature and Food Quality, which is my department, concerned cyber risks for agricultural companies. Farmers, growers and gardeners are increasingly supported by technology to work as efficiently and sustainable as possible. Consider, for example, precision agriculture, data-driven systems, sensors, and fully independently operating machines. This brings great benefits, but also serious risks. The dependence on automation is increasing. In combination with increasing cyber attacks, via, for example, DDoS or ransomware, this is a dangerous mix. Food production is an essential sector for our society and must not be endangered. That is why the Ministry of Agriculture, Nature and Food Quality wants to know which agricultural companies are at high risk. In addition to social risk, the business risk for individual farmers, growers and gardeners is also increasing. Companies are hit almost every day, for example, by ransomware attacks, but also by corporate espionage, in which competitively sensitive production data is stolen. Individual farmers, growers face a major challenge here. They are first and foremost producers who want to focus on the quality of their products. And knowledge of complex IT systems is often limited, of course. And as one-man company or small partnership, they do not have the capacity to hire in an IT consultant. However, for their own business security and the importance of continuity of food production, resistance to cybercrime must be increased. So that was the challenge, and it was won by Clapform, who offered a software solution that can be tailored to the farmers, growers and gardener sector. The product focuses on detecting risks through automated scans and assessments that occur specifically in this sector, through integration of various frameworks and continually adding new logic, thought and user feedback. So it's a scan with a feedback system. By using an automatic workflow, these scans learn to detect the results and thus identify new risks more quickly. I see I have 2 more minutes, so I will skip the other challenge I also wanted to show you. But these are examples of, well, how a concrete instrument can be of support of government as well as the startups to find new solutions, but also new markets for future-proof solutions. I would like to thank you here. Let me see for my last slide. With this presentation and some Dutch examples, I hope to have shared in a nutshell how we as the Dutch government and as embassy team take up our responsibility in the SDG goals. Startups and youngsters help us as governments to bring new perspectives and out-of-the-box solutions that are much needed in this complex world full of challenges. I'm convinced that we should give youth a stronger voice, and as governments we should be good listeners. In that way we can give the next generation a fair share and space to create their own future, and that also counts for startups and scale-ups. We are very much in need of your creativity, positive energy and courage. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sophie.